So with champs started today, I thought let's go through a few teams. We've got a few of the squads on the go through many budgets, and I'll kind of give my suggestions of where they can be increased, what you actually look at in a player, and different formations that everybody's playing. Personally, at the minute, whenever you go into the higher divisions, you're looking like top end of Division 3 into all the way into 1 and Elite. 5 at the back is riddled. Now, it's definitely beatable, but it is very consistent that a lot of people are playing it. You either have a 5 at the back or a 3 at the back that does turn into a 5 at the back. So it's like almost a false 5 at the back. Sometimes you will find 4 at the backs, the 4-4-2s, the 4-3-3s, and some people just are naturally better. What I would always suggest, if you are starting out to either compete in champs, start your first rivals, or just go online to have some fun, balance is always great to start with if you've never done it. A 4-4-2 you can never go wrong with, especially at the start. Get the team sorted, get your gameplay sorted, and then you can kind of go with the custom tactics. We know roles and roles plus is massive this year. So let's jump straight into it. We've got a price of 50,000 coins. Now obviously with some of these squads, the pre-order packs and also evolutions might make it a little bit cheaper than what it truly is. To be honest, not many of the evolutions would be that much anyway. Like Nunez isn't coming in at a 50k price and turned into 0. But when we look at the rest of them, we're obviously linking the Turkish League, mainly for Osimhen. We're linking a bit of Prem. We've obviously got Williams in the middle as well. It's not a bad team. I would suggest maybe a different goalkeeper and changing the Turkish League. I don't think they are going to do very well in champs, in my opinion. But you could definitely still run it. Obviously, with the Turkish League, you're looking at potentially someone like a St. Max. He's coming in at 120 at the moment, and he is got 2 more days to get him done. So it's not a bad link if you wanted across there. But clearly with this person, they've gone with the Galatasaray link. I just think that might be a hindrance slightly, and naturally as we go into the 50k teams, it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of more in your million coin to 2 million coin teams where it's like, okay, now you need to really think about it because you're putting a lot of coins into a team. 50k, you play a few more matches and you've got pretty much all of that cost done. So I would suggest probably just running a full Prem team if you're looking on a very tight budget. If you need coins in FC25, lootbar.gg has you covered. They are the cheapest trading platform on the game, 8 to 10% cheaper than any others, 8% off if you use the code JT11 at the end at checkout, plus you get 5% extra on coins. With the fastest delivery system going, used by many FC25 creators such as Zorki, Manny Plus, and even Pro owners. So if you need any coins, head over to lootbar.gg, make sure JT11's in the promo code, and hopefully you enjoy. Now I saw this team and I was very excited with it. Nice team to go with. So we've got the link between the Serie A and also the Portuguese League. Obviously we've got the likes of DeMarco, Chanaloglu, butchered that name, Dybala and Lookman, and then you've got Victor. He is going to be an absolute monster in the game. He has been booked to be the guy that you want to get straight off the bat. It's coming in really cheap, which is nice now, 1.6. It's got himself some good stats. He's going to be an interesting one to follow as we go forward, and obviously with the evolutions would be nice as well. We obviously have Renato Sanchez, we have a few of the squad foundations, a lovely Otamendi objective that everybody can do, but you've got today to get it done, and then obviously you've got a player that came from the road to the knockout. I think that's a solid team. I definitely think that's definitely not a bad team you can go for. Again, with centre-backs, you can always go better, but I think with the uniqueness of this team, I quite like it. Definitely in the lower divisions, you're going to have no problems with it. I think the attack's quite balanced up there. You've got a nice midfield. The defensive line, again, isn't awful. So I'd give that a solid shout, and especially under 100k, no grumbles. Now we've got 62k, so obviously we've got a big one in the pre-order Mycon. Whether these people actually have these pre-order players or they're just trying to put them in. Obviously, if you've got him, then he's just absolutely nuts in himself. If you've even tried to buy his other version, Mycon is outrageous. Like his normal 88 is coming in at 538. Trust me, I've used him. He's unreal. He's so good. So I am very, very jealous of anybody that's got this 86. And to be fair, he doesn't even really lose that many stats. And he's going to go up to that 90. I mean, call it fair or not, that's just nuts. We've got Sanchez. We've got a bit of Bundesliga into Prem. Obviously, Boniface, Simons. I wouldn't necessarily go with that wing pairing if I'm being honest. Obviously Simmons is not terrible in the wing, but he definitely does vibe with more of a cam. And even Bernardo Silva, I know it's going to be very pass orientated. You've got very slow kind of box to holding defensive mids. Even Palmer necessarily isn't the quickest in the midfield. So the only thing I say with this team personally is it's going to be very passing orientated or wing back heavy. You're going to have Grimaldo and Maicon making them overlaps very, very much, because otherwise you're just not pushing the ball quick enough. So I would suggest this team to potentially change a little bit. Obviously you've got the likes of Sane, you've got Coman, both very quick wingers if you wanted to just pile up that midfield a little bit more. When it comes to the centre mids, even to be honest, you could look at like a Rodri, and I know that's kind of blowing a bit more of a budget, but if you go in for that slower build-up play, that would be where I'd go to next, because you've got Rodri at 62. He definitely will do a job. He's got the City links as well. I just think with Palhinha and also Xhaka, they are very slow, very, very slow in that holding. So you need at least one of them to be out and kind of add a little bit more pace to it, to be honest. Now jumping up to 110, this is a solid team. Very bog standard, absolutely love it. You've got the balance across the board. You've obviously got Otamendi and Romero. Romero's gone into the the surprising surge or something like that, or power surge, where it gets 10 on the acceleration and sprint speed. So very good upgrade. I think he was one of the better options. Him, Martinez, De Ligt's a nice option. There was a few as well. There was it Gomez, who gets like 2 upgrade, but definitely is better there. Just fantastic in itself. You've obviously got either the ultimate reward or the club one for evolutions, taking him to an 82. Again, one of the fan favourites in terms of it. Power shot plus. But then you've got the balance of the midfield. You're looking at Conte and Cal. Very nice in the midfield. You've got Conte with the intercept, and then Cal with the incisive. Very good pairing. Benzema and Martinez, very similar players. I know necessarily Martinez can be more seen as a driving striker, whereas Benzema is most definitely in this game more of a hold-up. I would suggest potentially looking at somebody different, but I think they're mainly looking at the French/Saudi links. I don't think, you probably wouldn't get the same chem on Diaby, as Diaby is a great cheap option. Quick step plus with the speed boost, absolutely phenomenal. You've obviously got Gusto, you've got Maatsen, again could change them up, but they're absolutely fine as they are. You've got the likes of Delo, you've got Pedro Porro, Walker then would be the kind of takeover from that. Left back wise, Mendy's going to be a great option with them French links if you wanted. You could then chuck a Saliba at Otamendi, so there is progression. That's the one thing I like in teams is absolutely start at each level. Start at a 50k, 100k, 250, 345, but have the capabilities of the progression. Oh, obviously Conte's there as well. Have that so you could go one step up. You could go and get that Mbappe eventually, and a Bellingham, a Vinny, a Virgil van Dijk, Saliba, Rudiger. There's so many upgrades, but you've got to start in the right way. And then we mix in a little bit of the MLS women, and also, or is it the NWSL, I want to say, and then obviously Prem. So Vicario in net. With keepers, to be honest, I think you could go a couple of ways. I get a lot of people are going to choose this sort of keeper to keep the budget down. Always try and get the best keeper you can. Ederson, Alisson, Courtois, get one of them and that's it. And then you're absolutely sorted, because it will cost you a one-off, I don't even know how much they are. They're not that expensive. Like Courtois is coming in at 50. I'm pretty sure Ederson isn't even much more, much less. 23. So absolutely a bargain. And 47. So the maximum is 50. Go and get one of them and you are absolutely sorted. Start your back line off there. You know then you don't have to change that keeper until at least team of the year. Like it's that easy with a goalkeeper. They don't change. They don't need to change. They stay at a level. So always do that if I was building a squad. Start with that 50k investment into your goalie straight off the bat. But in terms of this team, you could still work that. Obviously Ederson would work. Alisson would work. Courtois wouldn't work in this team, but you'd need a few La Ligas. We then have the NWSL ladies. So you've got Lavelli, you've got Dunn, very good midfielders. You've got Oshala and also Rachel. You could change a couple of them, Rodman Swanson, and then you've obviously got Sophia Smith as the natural upgrade, but definitely absolutely fine, got pace everywhere. Saka's nice option, Rice decent holding mid, obviously you're looking up to the kind of like the Tonales of the world. Undogi's cracking left back, that was the left back I was thinking of. And then again, Pedro Porro, Delo, Walker, eventually leading up to the likes of Kounde. That is a solid team, and we're coming in at 88,000 for this one. Then we've got a bit of Bundesliga slash Prem. Again, with a keeper. I won't kind of mention it every time, but I think you could get a little bit better than Ortega. But I get where the link's going. German, Man City, getting Prem and Bundesliga in there. Alphonso Davies, great option there. Sancho, I mean, dribbling-wise is going to be fantastic. This squad is 100k. Alex Garcia, beautiful option as an SBC. I think there is a lot of SBCs that I would suggest 100% doing. Like if you look at some of the players, like even Godfrey, very cheap. It's worth just doing them just in case you change your team there. Obviously Lo Celso, cheap enough. Even St. Max, I would say, is worth a punt. If he gets to that 87, I mean, 120k for an 87 St. Max, never going to be awful. A lot of the foundations, to be honest, they're worth just grinding out later on. But Garcia, Taurum, and also Danjuma, very nice options in themselves. I know we have got Nico Williams coming. We've got Yamal coming. So they're going to be a little bit more expensive. So get these out the way very quickly. We then have Kimmich. Little bit of a downgrade this year, but I still think he will definitely get a job, especially with that long ball plus. Bernardo Silva in the centre mid, kind of being that box to box. I think that's fair enough. And the back line, absolutely fine. And what we said, 100k, I think that's pretty decent. And Boniface, the hold-up striker, if you can play style with it, decent. Now, you don't see these squads very much, very often, to be honest. A full Bundesliga team. Love it. 4-5-1. Obviously got Harry Kane up front. Incredible finisher of the ball. You obviously got Musiala coming up there. You've got Sane and Coman on the wing. Kimmich holding in with Xhaka. Would I go anybody different there? I'm interested because it's decent in the midfield, but I feel like, again, with that Xhaka, I could be wrong. I've not personally used him a crazy amount, but I feel like, especially in a champs game, he might be a bit too slow. If we're looking, obviously, we've got Musiala as the kind of attacking mid. You got Kimmich, I think, could go into the holding. Who could go there, to be honest? You're looking at Brand's not going. He's going to be more attacking. You need that kind of that. I mean, to be honest, Alex Garcia, I think that's going to be the perfect option in every aspect there. Palacios could be one as well. Sabitzer. I mean, Alex Garcia is the perfect option there. Like, that's going to really strengthen that team. Shift Kimmich into the DM role. Get, obviously, Alex Garcia in there. Everybody else, I'd say, is pretty up there, to be honest. Throwing it back to a bit of Prem only, gotta love it. Obviously, they've gone with Werner in one of the evolutions that's not necessarily the club or ultimate. We've then got Carragher as the pre-order. Personally, I've got him. He's actually pretty solid. He's in my defense at the moment, and he gets a job done. I think give him a month, and he's more than likely going to be out of it, but he does enough. Kevin De Bruyne, and to be honest, that midfield, yeah, that's going to be a problem there. You've got to have somebody different in that midfield. You can't have Bruno and De Bruyne. You will be split straight through the middle. And as good as the whole Man City line and Carragher are there, they're not going to be able to handle that 24/7. Even Foden and Gordon are very attacking options in the mid. You've got to push something up there. And I think if we was going for it, Tonale comes to mind straight away. But who would be the cheaper option, really? So if we go into Prem, the cheaper option, you've obviously got Tonale. Then you'd go a Rice, always not a bad option. You've got Rodri. How much are we looking at? 260 for the squad. So a little bit of cash to be playing with. Let's get rid of the Bundesliga. Does that get rid of it? Or do I have to exit? I just exit here. Odegaard, no. Bruno, no. Rice, Gundogan's a little bit on the slower side. McAllister is the same. If you can afford Ramirez, then obviously. No, Tonale, Bruno Gomes, Joel Linton I've definitely seen. Marino, not bad options in there. Definitely not Casemiro. So I think there is a few options you can go with, even like a Caicedo or someone to just strengthen it up. Joe Linton's never a bad option, like a very good balance across the stats if you wanted that midfield. Obviously, he'll get the links into Gordon, but it is a full Prem team, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then Nunez and Werner up front, I could think of worse strikers. And then we go back to a little bit of a hybrid. Matuidi in the pre-order looks a decent card. He was always a nice card in the game. You've got France, Bundesliga, Serie A, Prem. There's a lot going on there, so it's quite an interesting team. And I think, has he got max chem? It's one chem off. Who's not got the chem? Upamecano. I mean, yeah, I could see that. You've obviously got, don't even know. You probably couldn't even get him on the chem. You'd need a Bundesliga Spanish centre-back. That's what you'd need. Let's bring Sergio Ramos into there. But Dybala, Martinez up front, fantastic. Bit of Palmer in the middle, love it. Barella, Garcia, Matuidi on the DM, fantastic midfield. James, the problem is like we say, we're building this squad. You've kind of put yourself in that hold that you either have James or Gusto as the two options. Gusto actually would be fantastic from Upamecano, to be fair to him. But you are putting yourself in a hole with Inter Milan, kind of Argentinian Serie A. You've then obviously got Bayern Munich, a bit of Leverkusen, and just Chelsea. It's going to be quite a hard one to change that team without changing a considerable amount. It will definitely do, though. Like Bastoni and Upamecano, solid. James will do as a right back. Granado's decent enough. Got a whipped pass on him. Love the midfield. And the attack, it could be worse. Seems to be a lot of Prem Bundesliga links here. We've got Kobel, Schlotterbeck, and Ram. I think that's it. You've then got Ndogi on the right. Wouldn't really go there. Just go with a Delo, go with a Pedro Porro, go with a Gusto. Like, there's so many... Well, it's Gusto left back or right back, in fact. Regardless, you can't play a left back and right back if they can't play it already. It's just not going to work. Obviously, you've got a Kanji, you've got Silva. Obviously, Walker as well would always be the option. Saka, Gundogan, Watkins, Rashford, solid options. Rashford, hopefully, for an evolution at some point. Very slow midfield. Again, I'd be looking at a Tonali if I could really get one in that mid. Maybe even strengthen up one of these. I'd possibly even just swap a straight out Bruno for De Bruyne, mainly for the passing and incisive, or go the other way and take out Bernardo, because then you'd have an incisive on one side, you'd obviously have the long ball plus on the other, you then have Tonali in the middle. I think that would be kind of where I'd go there. Striking wise, the only upgrade would really be potentially Isaac if you prefer him, but definitely Haaland, and that kind of is about it. Maybe even a Jota road to the knockout, but that could be for Rashford or Watkins as well. Ooh, chucking in a bit of Ligue 1 this time. We've got the Portuguese League, Ligue 1 and Prem. We've obviously got Victor and Isaac, both Swedish internationals up front. Love the combination. We then have some of the Portuguese side as well as the PSG Portuguese players. And Emery in an evolution. Very good option to get him done straight away. He is one of them cards that just fits a perfect evolution balance. Romero as a road to the knockout. Love it. Vicario for the links. Pedro Porro. A solid team, 200k. I couldn't argue with that. I think if he was looking at others, obviously Goncalves is going to have an evolution at some point. Same with Victor, he's going to be in the near future. I could see even Vitinha with like a pace or defensive boost, just because his dribbling's very high and he's got a good overall. That will definitely be taken out, like we've seen with the pace evolution, if they manage to fix it. Then we got 212, we got Roberto. A decent card. I would say he's kind of more of a left mid, but you could kind of go with him as a centre mid, to be honest. He's going to be very expensive, so you just kind of fill in. Camavinga would always be a great shout there. Kolomowane is the ultimate. Love it. Barcola with an evolution would be fantastic. Love Diani. Bruno in the middle. Could always be De Bruyne, but great kind of push in there. Where's he getting his links? Diaz, Diaz, Gusto, and obviously a Kanji, and Areola, I suppose. So that's fine, and I don't think he's put a manager in either. Diaz, I like him as a centre-back, don't think he's incredible. Again, you've got loads of options to change him, so that's absolutely fine. Tchouaméni, fantastic. Batcher could always be changed to Sakina if you really want, but that is going to be a good link for Diani as well, but she has got lots of French links as well. And then Gusto at the right. Again, depending on what you're looking at for the French links, you could obviously go for a Walker and change out. Maybe go Walker at the right back, Saliba at centre back. You've then just changed one French for another, and it works out perfectly fine. But solid team. He's obviously got Joe Linton, Hernandez, and Doku on the bench there. Some nice options, Doku especially, with some good evolutions going forward. Then we go in again to a little bit of a hybrid. We're looking a bit of Portuguese league at the back line. Not a massive fan. I like St. Justice pace. I mean, it's not going to be fantastic. I think Delo, Sakina, decent option. Skinner is just unreal at that left back role. Genuinely incredible. You've obviously got Grace as the DM mixed in with Conte. Brilliant. I would definitely get rid of this. I know it's personally just to get Victor on there. I think you could go with better options. Maybe changing out Benzema for Victor and then getting Goncalves there. Maybe just keeping Costa and St. Just. Swapping out a centre-back and getting somebody different might be the move there. Bruno in the middle is fair enough. Obviously, he's getting the links to Delo and then a few of the Portuguese links as well. So that's kind of where you're at. Evolutions will always be your best friend there. So this is definitely where we're starting to go up in price. We're looking at 560 at the moment. So we've got Stegen. We've obviously got the kind of Barca women mixed in with the Prem women. And also then we have got normal La Liga in there as well. So decent, to say the least. Obviously, James and Kerr for the Chelsea girls. Hemp, not a bad option. You've got Peugeot with a rapid plus. De Jong as kind of that flexing mid with Patry with her long ball plus, which is always great. Arejo's a fantastic centre-back. Bode will do enough. Obviously got Rolfo to Stegen. Solid team. Now, 560, when you look at it truly, it's harder to build a team like that as well. Like, you think 560, if you was to split it even as well, you was dividing it by 11, that's only 50k a player. I mean, there's definitely players in there that are worth more. Like, Arejo's definitely worth more in one. Peugeot is, I'd say is definitely, but I could be wrong. 57 for Peugeot, but obviously when you look at the keepers like we saw with Edison, he would make that change a little bit, being 25k, but even Arejo is coming in at 111, so it's definitely kind of swayed a little bit more. Baude will come in quite cheap. Sammy Kerr coming in at 127. Again, you've got the likes of Hansen, you've got Bonmati, Putellas. I think that might be all the Barca ladies in there. Don't know if there's any other Man City. I know Kelly's normally one option there. You've got Shaw as a kind of more bigger attacker, but I think you've done absolutely fine with that one. Again, looking at some nice options. We're coming in at 470. Swanson Rodman link. Love it. Foden good. Odegaard, Rodri. Garcia putting himself up there. What can we got? 24. I was going to say, it doesn't seem like it's a very balanced chemistry team here. You could throw in a Dunn if you really wanted just to get that trio on max chemistry. Nuno Mendes, decent with Marquinhos and Hakimi. Obviously, Gravador could be changed for... Oh no, I don't know if I'd change it for Diaz actually, because it's quite a Man City heavy, but you've got a few Prem players, so you should be fine. Saliba, Virgil, then going a bit further down, Van der Ven, always a great option this year, phenomenal centre-back. So there's work in progress there. I think the chem definitely needs to be upper here. One chem on both of these. Change out a Rodri for a Dunn or an Odegaard for a Dunn. Possibly Rodri, just because obviously you've got yourself... Man City boys everywhere, but I think then you've got Alex Garcia. You could even change Alex Garcia for Dunn, to be honest. I know it's an SBC, but you could sub him on. Ooh, I like it already. Heavy evolutions. Now, the only thing I don't know with this squad builder is, can you put the same evolution in twice? Like, when you try and put a second player in, so for instance, it was to go over here and we was to put in Messi, for instance, if I can. We'll put Messi in. If I try and do the same here, he's already in the squad. So I wonder, let's just check, because I want to make sure that this is right. So if I go to... Oh, how do I do it? My evolution? No, I've got it. So let's go for who's one of them. We'll go... Rashford. Yeah, we'll go Rashford. So Rashford, and then can we change his evolution? So we'll change to an evolution. We'll go with intro to stat limit. And then we'll go Doku. And then we'll try and do the same. So you can. So, yeah. So you can. So, unfortunately, I won't know if these are the same evolutions or not. Like, that looks very similar. I just don't know if that's right. If you can't, then fair enough. You could wait until that evolution's available. Mendy, though, how much are we looking at? 460. Take out these 4 players as they'll be untradeable value. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Oh, no. Their gold card comes as the price. Okay, so that's fair enough. Kevin De Bruyne, nice. Camavinga, Dembele, Taurum, Doku, Mendy, Edison. I'd say it's solid. It's definitely solid. You'd obviously want to get a bit more of a better backline eventually. A Saliba for either Konate or Mukiele would be great. Right back for France, I don't think there's many, so it's gonna have to be changed. Obviously, it's not fully French as he's got Doku and De Bruyne, but whether that's what they're personally going for will be interesting in the near future. Then we got 540. Guti on the pre-order, Joel Linton, Konate, Delo. They look like different evolutions, which is nice. Salah, Griezmann, Martinelli. Alvarez sitting at the cam. Obviously then Oblak, Marquinhos, and Nuno. 33 chem as well. That's solid. Absolutely. How is Oblak getting the chem? Guti, obviously. Griezmann. Alvarez. Oh, okay, yeah. That actually makes a lot more sense now, to be fair. Forget that Griezmann and Alvarez both play for Atletico. It's got Barca and Man City written all over it. Solid squad. I don't think there's too much you can do there. Obviously, Virgil will always be a number one. We've then got PSG. Could go for a Furland. Oh, I suppose you go Marquinhos, which would be the links. You get Martinelli, Brazilian manager, Joel Linton. So you might want to change that as well. You could maybe change Saliba there, go for Mendy. Would obviously keep the chem nice and tight. Now we've got the final kind of like 5 to 6 squads. These are the real big boys. We've got 2 million coins, which again, like if you get 1 million coins, you're looking at what? I don't even know. In fact, I've said this and I've not even got the calculator up. If you've got 1 million coins, divide that by 11, you're looking at 90,000 per position. Now, obviously, you've got 2 million coins here. Granted, the keeper is 50k, so you know that much. But you're spending roughly between 150 to 200 per position. You've obviously got Bellingham and Valverde. You got Llorente. So you know that you've got certain positions that are worth more. Like, it was to go for it. Van de Ven, I'm pretty sure a few days ago, was about 60. Whether he has changed purely because he's got an inform, you're looking at a whopping 77. Wow. 193 for his inform as well. Virgil, on the other hand, what is he coming in at? Yesterday was about 330. He's 350 at the moment. Valverde is obviously quite expensive in himself. Griezmann was about 100k. I don't know how much Son was, in fact. Son's one of them ones that I never know the price of. 390. Big price. Doku's obviously relatively cheap, which is fine. Mendy was roughly just over 100. Rodrigo was about 150. So you're looking pretty good across the board there. The one thing I would say with a 2 million coin squad, when you're paying 100 plus per position, you've got to get that chemistry right. Chemistry styles, get the raw pluses looked at, and that should be a winning team for right now. Not many people are going to be spending upwards of 100 on every position. So, fantastic team. Now, I would say this is probably the only thing I haven't really dabbled with too much is buying heroes and icons for the main team. Just because the prices are so much in fluctuation that I just wouldn't want to go too heavy in them. It's why when you look at the likes of like a Barnes, even to be fair, Xabi Alonso would be a great example because at least Barnes has got a bit of pace. Xabi Alonso gets taken out by a lot of DMs. He's nearly 300,000 coins. I mean, I'd much rather, and I know everything's going to drop. It's not as if the icons are the only things that are going to drop. Valverde's coming in at 460. That would be much better of an option if you could just go and do that. Obviously, when you look at Bergkamp, there is going to be certain positions that are going to be more like Bergkamp's 380. I could go by Haaland, and I know it's all about his links as well, but 33 chem, you could go and get a Haaland and swap some bit of the team out. Barnes has probably got to be a bit more than, to be honest. He's coming in at 350. That's a heavy price on free icons that you could just go and get. 3 golds, 4 golds that kind of do them positions. Now we've got 1.8 for this one. We've obviously got Yapstam. It's not available in that form. If they have got it, then he's got the 85 version, which is very similar. Like he's had a bit of an upgrade, but I mean, you're gonna get it eventually, so I get what they're saying. For right now, he's got the 85, but they would be the upgraded there. Edison, Lorente, Rudiger, Bacha, Patry, Hansen, incredible. Diane, whether I'd say that I'd put her as a striker, she was good last year as it. This year, maybe not so much. Bellingham in the mid, you've got obviously the box-to-box and kind of a DM box-to-box. Foden obviously does work. Pretty good, to be honest. I think that's a solid team for a while. Now, don't get me wrong, Neymar's very hard to get on chem, but you're looking at 1.9 million. You've got Nkunku up front. Wouldn't go for that, in my opinion. Backline, brilliant. Keeper, rubbish. You're obviously going for the Neymar links. just leave Neymar out of it. Get rid of him, put him on the bench, do something with him, because he's so hard to link right now. Get a couple of weeks in and he'll be so much easier. To be honest, I would sell, get rid, and buy him back later, because he's dropping down at a massive, massive rate. He's just not Neymar this year. Until we get an inform, a special card or whatever, he's just not going to be Neymar at the moment. But perfect back line. That's pretty much my back line. Walker, Saliba, Virgil, Mendy. Tchouaméni in the middle. Brilliant. Bellingham, obviously. Dembele, fantastic. Bit of Salah. But it falls down on keeper, Neymar, and Nkunku. I think there could be so much better. Even if you chucked a Griezmann up front, would be much better to have, rather than Nkunku as your main striker in a near 2 million coin team. Now, you can definitely tell this guy is either been watching pros or is potentially in that top division. This would be horrible to come up against. Hakimi on the right back, blistering pace. Same as the left back, you've got Mendy, Rudiger, Marquinhos, and Arejo. No. Valverde, Bellingham, Nico Williams, Dembele, and Forlan. That's a fantastic team. If you're looking at a bog standard 5 at the back, just going to absolutely sweat, that's going to be a great starter pack. You're just going to do so much damage with that. If you can play with that, you are absolutely laughing. I personally like, if I'm going at a 5 back, like a 5-3-2 or a 5, what is it? No, is it a 5-3-1-2 or a 5-2-1-2, where you have the 2 strikers? I just much prefer it being a bit more narrow, but still, this team is disgusting. Got 2 more icons in this one. Backline, Mendy, Militao, Van Dijk, Frimpong, Alisson and net. Brilliant. That's great. Rafinha, he was about 90k last time I checked. And to be honest, I don't think I'd pay that. 80,000 coins. As much as I do like him and I think he's a good card, I don't know if I'd rate him enough to put him as 80k value. It's an interesting one, but at the same time, unless you've got him untradeable, Keane's coming in at 130, and Zola, I can imagine, is going to be expensive. 700,000. I mean, that's a bit expensive. Unless you've packed him untradeable, I just don't think he's worth buying at the moment. He's brilliant as a card, but he is going to dip massively. Rodman Smith, brilliant pairing. Other than the icons, I think he's got an absolute blessed team. Now, to be honest, I knew this was coming, but I didn't expect him to be now. I thought it was one of the last squads, but of course we're going to have somebody with Player of the Month, Haaland. Now, I don't know if this gives him any price, because he's got about 2 million. Does it give the SBC price? It does not. So you've got to throw roughly, how much is that SBC coming in at? It's coming in at a whopping, well, we've got players, so we've got Haaland coming in at, say, 600. Give him some change. 600 extra, so you're looking at 2.7 realistically here. Alisson, Saliba, Mendy, Walker, Van Dijk. That's like the go-to backline. You could maybe throw in Rudiger, Militao, Arejo, your Van der Ven in form or normal, could throw him in there, to be fair. And I'd say they're kind of your backline centre-backs that are going to be in every big team. Mendy's there, Teo's there, Walker, Kounde, incredible backline there. Bellingham, Valverde, De Jong, they're going to be your starters. And then you've got the likes of Nico Williams, you've got Vinny, you've got Neymar, which I like as an option, but I just think the chemistry's too hard at the minute. Griezmann, Haaland, Salah. It's a perfect squad, especially to start the game with. That's going to be controller breaking. And then we've got the final 3 squads. 4.8 million. Just in case you're up here with this value, I think if you are paying 4.8, you could definitely just go get Mbappe. As much as I love Vinny, Vinny's a fantastic card. Paying 2.7, if he's not got him untradeable, that's going to be the biggest thing here. If you've got him untradeable, then fair enough. But go and get his gold card if you're looking to save. But Mbappe is a must in this sort of price. Like, we pay 3.5 for him. You've got 1.3 to left over to go with. That is going to be more than enough. You think about a 1 point... Say you got Mbappe, 3.5 down the line. You've got 1.3 left. You go Courtois in net, 50k. So, fantastic. Virgil van Dijk, 300k, 350. So, you've got to 400. Saliba, about 200. So, you're at, say, 550. You go Walker, say an extra 60, 70. So, we say we're at 600. Give or take, obviously, he's at 74,000. Mendy, I want to say was 129. So say we're looking at about what, 700 to 800 at the minute. We then look at a Jude potentially. I don't know how expensive Jude is actually. 340. So we're saying 800, say at 1.1. Throw in then just a couple of cheap options. Don't go for Jude. Go for a De Jong instead and build your squad up there. But Mbappe in that up front is going to be worth it. Like, Mbappe's just, you don't have to ever change him. Vinny, as good as he is, you will change him for an Mbappe. You have to. There is no way that a striker in form, gold, whatever, even 2 informs on from now, Vinny is not going to be a better striker than Mbappe. 100%. Like, that is just without given. Rafinha in form, that is one that I did want to have a look at. You are looking at 320. I mean, that's fair enough, to be fair. I know, obviously, you've got 78, 79 for his gold. Getting in form, it's a little bit of an upgrade. Nothing crazy, but I suppose it's better than the gold at this point. And then we've got somebody who's pretty much done the same, to be fair. They've obviously got the back line that we like. Alisson in there. You've got De Jong, Valverde, Bellingham. We now know Bellingham's quite expensive. We know Valverde's expensive. It's got a bit of Doku on this side, though. That's always an interesting one. His Champions League 87, 670,000. Now, I love that he's got that version, and more than likely he's probably packed him. But the problem I have with this card, Rapid Plus, brilliant. We've got Rapid Plus on this version. Both the same skill move and weak foot, or yeah, skill move and weak foot. But when we look at the evolutions, if you was to just manage to do this, you look at the difference, really. 1 pace, 3 shooting, 2 passing, 1 dribbling, 4 physical. Granted, the Doku's going to get a double upgrade, so he will be an 89. But this will get upgraded as well. It's crazy how close they are in stats. And the price difference is massive. 3 evolutions and you pay 37,000 for him. I mean, it's a big difference for maybe not necessarily the biggest upgrade going. So just something to figure out. Obviously, they've gone with left wing and right wing change. It's an interesting one, but 4.5, I think the only real kind of upgrade here, it would be icons eventually. But you'd say, I'd even say De Jong's fantastic there. I'd maybe go Vinny on the left, inform Vinny, normal Vinny. Maybe chuck Rafinha back on the right, or a Rodrigo upgrade would be nice. And then Mbappe up front. That would literally be, at the minute, the perfect team. And then finally, we've got the biggest squad. Now, the one thing I don't get, in fact, is the bench actually causing more of a price, because that would be very, very interesting to see. So if we go at the bench, we've got, we've got Peter. He'll be the biggest upgrade here. We've got Peter. It does. So, to be fair, all of these do add a little bit of price to this. So, we are looking a little bit cheaper. I was thinking, I was like, I know Mbappe's 3.5, but there's no way that these all equal 1.5 between them. Like, Teo's 300, Tomore's like 50, 15, 2, we said 49. She'll be free because she's a pre-order. 25, 40. Loftus-Cheek, maybe 10 at a max. So you have got a heavy price increase here. Clearly, they've just got the Mbappe on there, which is absolutely fantastic. Mbappe is going to be everybody's search and destroy sort of card. He's just going to be broken for the next few months, and then eventually we'll get defenders that can truly handle him, or at least handle him a little bit better. But that's going to be the list for everybody. Let me know down below your team. A lot of price differences there. Very interested to see how the first champs goes. If you are commenting after you've done champs, let me know your rewards and also how many wins you finished on. Apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.